everyone, and welcome to Lipstick on a Rig. Today we are going to be crocheting this beanie. To get started, grab your size F or 5 crochet hook and some medium size 4-weight yarn. So what you're going to want to do to begin is go ahead and attach your yarn to your crochet hook and chain 21. Once you have your 21 chains, all you're going to want to do is place one slip stitch in the back loop only of each stitch across. So you're going to skip the first stitch here by your hook and go into the next one. And you're just going to want to place a slip stitch in each of these stitches for a total of 20 stitches. And when you get to the end of your row, you just want to chain one and turn your work. And then you just want to repeat that process, placing one slip stitch in the back loop only of each of the 20 stitches across, and then you want to chain one and turn your work. And you want to repeat that until the brim reaches around your head nicely. So usually for me that's about 13 or 14 inches. So once you get this to your desired length, what you're going to want to do is line the edges up. And I like to make sure that I've stopped on a row where my tail is on the opposite side of my crochet hook. And all you're going to want to do is place your hook into the entire stitch of the row that you were just currently working, and then into this loop here of the other side, and just pull through for a slip stitch. And you're just going to want to repeat that going all the way up for all of these 20 stitches. And once you get to your top row, just go ahead and chain one. So now what you're going to want to do is fold the brim over like this. All the way around. And now I'm just going to pull the side that has my crochet hook all the way to the edge over here. And I'm going to stick a clothespin on the opposite side, joining these two sides together. You can also use yarn or a stitch marker, it's completely up to you. So now what you're going to want to do is fold the area where your crochet hook is on top of that first clothespin, and we're going to place two more on these two sides. So once you have your clothespins in place, we're going to place a slip stitch in the stitch opposite our crochet hook, where it was just there. And now you're going to want to place 20 single crochets in between this section, this section, this section, and this section. And while you're placing your single crochets, you're going to be joining the edges together. So when you get to the end of the row, you should have 80 single crochets inside of this row. And since you don't have traditional stitches, you just kind of have to place them wherever you can. So go ahead and place your 80 single crochets, and I'll meet back up with you there. Once you have your 80 single crochets, this is what it should look like. So what you're going to want to do is go ahead and insert your hook into the back loop only of your first stitch. Place a single crochet there. And go ahead and repeat that, placing one single crochet in the back loop only for the rest of the row. As you can see here, when you get to the end of your row, you should be able to just continue to place one single crochet in the back loop only without interruption or having to start and stop the row. I went ahead and crocheted 13 rows of placing one single crochet in the back loops only. So now I'm going to start my decreasing pattern. So your first decreasing row, what you're going to want to do is place one single crochet in the back loop only of your next 8 stitches, and then you're going to want to single crochet together stitch 9 and stitch 10. And in order to keep up with my rows, I've got a spare piece of yarn I'm going to use as a stitch marker. So I went ahead and crocheted 2 stitches. Now I'm putting my stitch marker in place. So I have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and now I'm going to single crochet together, stitch 9 and stitch 10. So go ahead and repeat that going all the way around your row, and when you get to the end of your row, you should have 72 stitches. When you get to the end of your row, go ahead and remove your stitch marker, and we're going to be placing one single crochet in the back loop only of the next 7 stitches, and then we're going to single crochet together, stitch 8 and stitch 9. Five, 6, 7, 8, and 9. And go ahead and repeat that going all the way around your row, and when you get to the end of your row you should have 64 stitches. When you get to the end of your row, go ahead and remove your stitch marker, and we're going to be placing one single crochet in the back loop only of the next 6 stitches. Then we're going to single crochet together stitch 7, stitch 8. 6 and 7 and 8. And go ahead and repeat that all the way around your row, and you should have 56 stitches when you're done. When you get to the end of your row, go ahead and remove your stitch marker, and we're going to be placing one single crochet in the back loop only of the next 5 stitches, and then we're going to single crochet together stitch 6 and stitch 7. That's 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 6 and 7. And go ahead and repeat that all the way around your row, and when you get to the end you should have 48 stitches. When you get to the end of your row, go ahead and remove your stitch marker, and then we're going to be placing one single crochet in the back loop only of the next 4 stitches. Then we're going to single crochet together stitch 5 and stitch 6. So that's 4, 5, and 6. And go ahead and repeat that going all the way around your row, and at the end of your row you should have 40 stitches. When you reach the end of your row, go ahead and remove your stitch marker, and then we're going to be placing one single crochet in the back loop only of the next 3 stitches. Then we're going to single crochet together stitch 4 and stitch 5, just like that. And go ahead and repeat that going all the way around your row, and when you get to the end of your row you should have 32 stitches. When you get to the end of your row, go ahead and remove your stitch marker, and then we're going to be placing one single crochet in the back loop only of the next 2 stitches. Then we're going to single crochet together stitch 3 and stitch 4. And go ahead and repeat that going all the way around your hat, and when you get to the end of your row you should have 24 stitches. And when you get to the end of your row, go ahead and remove your stitch marker, and then we're going to place one single crochet in the back loop only of the next stitch. Then we're going to single crochet together the next 2 stitches after that. And go ahead and repeat that for the rest of the row, and when you get done you should have 16 stitches. When you get to the end of your row, what we're going to do is we are going to single crochet together 2 stitches at a time until your hole closes up. And once your hole is pretty much closed up, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and insert our hook into a stitch kind of opposite of where our hook currently is, and we're just going to pull through for a slip stitch. And then you're just going to want to tie off your yarn. And this is what it'll look like when you tuck your tails in and add your poof ball. Don't forget to check the links in the description, because I do have a very similar pattern for a baby beanie that I made, and I will make sure I link to it down there. Please let me know in the comments below if you experienced any issues while you were trying to crochet this, and I will do my best to help you out. If this video helped you, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to my channel, Lipstick on a Rig. Thank you so much for working with me, and I hope you have a wonderful, awesome day.